Good morning, everyone. About 6:30 a.m. on day 31. 31, July 31st, right? Our 30 days of positive, I believe, was successful. We made it through 30 days. That's what counts, right? So how do you feel? We talked about that. Completion, do you feel completed? And what are your results? Go back and look at your results for me. Thanks for the input. I didn't get a lot of input from the last one, and I don't know if it's because of the YouTube. When I switch it to YouTube, it seems like I don't get any comments anymore. I don't know if it's harder to go over there and comment or if it's just I'm losing people. But I asked a question about maybe what would you like to see going forward, and today that's all it is. Today I'm going to ask the question, and I want to see if we can interact and do some comments. I will share a couple things with you today, like I always do, just so we can keep moving forward. So I can keep moving forward. And the realizations for me on a daily basis help me stay focused. So I woke up this morning not so grateful. I actually woke up, I'm always grateful. I'm going to rephrase that, but not feeling as grateful as I could be, okay? I actually hit the ground running this morning in a competitive mode. Now, competition is not bad. It's not. We compete with ourselves to make ourselves better all the time, in a sense. I've never seen it that way. Truly, I know it can be defined that way. Let's look at this for a minute. If I want to better myself in an area, whatever area it is, okay, I strive to be better than I was today or yesterday or the day before. Is that truly competition? Or is it just striving to better yourself? I've seen it that way, and I've heard it put as competing with yourself. Why I use the term competing with myself is because I do feel competitive at times, and we'll talk about that word in a minute. And when I do feel competitive, I don't have to do anything. I choose to use that statement, competing with myself, to take it away from competing with others. Because my natural instinct, I have been, just like everybody, probably everybody my age and the world, we talked about how the United States is conditioned to believe that competition is good. Competition, greed is good, that whole thing. And to beat the other person is the way to the top. That's drilled into us. You want the better education than them. You want to drive the better car than them. You want to get more points on the board than them. These are things that we are taught, right? Our paradigm. And when you watch events or sporting events or elections or I can't think of, well, I'm sure there's a few things but even when a new movie comes out or a new book comes out, or even at the college level in the classes, the professors, in a sense, compete for their jobs. They need to be better than the other professors to get kids to want to come to their class or for the institution to want to keep them around. Competition has its place in driving some people forward, and it has its place in beating others down. Now, I know as a child, I learned quickly that if I didn't step up and do my best, we didn't win as a team or I didn't win as an individual. It's just what it was at the time. I'm not saying it's good or bad, okay? And I was okay with that. I think we all are. It was the paradigm of the time. I never gave it any other thought. I'm a child, right? And I know that if I'm going to get on that football field with my team, we're going to bust our butt to be better than that other team. I had a different view because I had a couple of coaches who taught me that it wasn't about, in hindsight, this is how I see it, okay? It was never drilled into me that I needed to crush the other team. It was the verbiage of the time, right? People used that verbiage, but somewhere along the line, it got put in my head that to be the best I can be, if I went on the field or the court or the track or the mat and gave 50% and won, I still in essence lost. I didn't do myself any good, and I didn't do the other competitor any good, right? If I went out there and gave 80% to 120%, I'm doing okay. But once you pass that 100% mark, even if I lost and I put everything I had into it, I was still a winner. And that was an important lesson to me. So the competition was still there to win, to beat the other team or the other person or the other competitor, right? But it wasn't about crushing them to make me better. It was about giving my all against their all to see if I was enough. And if I wasn't enough, what did we do? We went back and worked on it. And I had a couple of coaches in my life and teachers in my life that I don't know if it was their intent to drive that into me or to help me learn that, but regardless, it stuck and it's still there. And I try to share that with my students and my children. Competition is good. The winning, it taught us to win and lose and be good sports about losing, right? That's something we haven't even talked about. In today's society, the giving of a trophy just for showing up. This is a subject, that we could talk. Good morning, everybody. Now you popped up. This is a subject we could probably talk volumes on. How do you feel about kids these days getting a trophy just for being there? I'm not one for it. I'm not. But I definitely don't want the kids to learn you have to crush the other person to be better, to be a better person. You have to stomp on that company so that your company is a better company, because that doesn't make you a better company or a better person. If you go out in the world and all you've got to say about what you do is, I'm better than them, you've got nothing, in my opinion. Feel to hear this tone? This is how I woke up this morning. I woke up in a competitive state. I get a little jealous, isn't the right word. Egotistically repressed might be a better word. I'll get it off my shoulders and I'll let it go, right? Well, yeah, I will, but I'll share it with you because you're my friends, right? For the last a little over 20 years now, I've had a relationship. And in this relationship, it's not a loving relationship. There's love involved, but it's not that kind of relationship. It's a business type of relationship, an association type of relationship. And during the relationship, I have used my what I learned and shared with this other individual how I do things, or how I would look at things and how I do things, as I do right now. And this other part of the relationship has taken that and made it theirs and used it right away forever. and where my jealousy is not the right word, egotistically repressed, where that egotistical repression comes in, is you never get credit for what it is you started or you've done. Is that weird? I kind of think it's egotistical, or I don't know. It's one of my weaknesses, and I'm working on it. But it continues to happen to this day, and I know that I do it too. I've taken Tony Robbins' stuff and I've spoon-fed it right to you, right? How does Tony feel about that? So I guess I just need to get over myself. I really do. But I give Tony credit, it has actually jaded some of my current projects, this feeling, because I start these projects like these videos to help people out, to share with you what I've learned, and I hope it helps in some sense or another, and for me to grow. And that's the true intent of all of my videos, including my martial arts videos. And I told you the other day, I started doing that and I realized I was doing it for money, and they weren't going anywhere. So I stopped, I reframed, I remembered what it is about, and now they're moving forward. Bob Davidson, if you're watching, I promise you're going to get your videos. I got like 80 I've made that nobody's seen yet, and they're coming out. Okay, I also held them back out of respect for my teachers. They were doing their thing. They were, they had their video series out and stuff. And for almost 20 years, I repressed all of that, kept it to myself, and kind of, always putting people in the direction of my teachers, because that's what a good student does. Now it's my time, so my stuff's coming out. Here it comes. Anyway, I woke up competitive. I got out of bed, and the first thing I did was something spiteful and sarcastic in the direction of what I just spoke about. And I got to the kitchen with the animals this morning and started making breakfast. And I went, what am I doing? That's not who I am. So I tried to go back and correct it, but I haven't found it yet. I'll correct it here in a minute. Anybody ever feel that way? Just thought I'd share that with you. So let's talk about self-discipline. Self-discipline and our inner speak, our inner voice. Does it work for you? Going forward, let me throw this out there real quick so that we can move past this. Excuse me, in the morning, as a singer, my throat likes to shut down and do this kind of stuff, which is okay. I imagine it's healing itself. So what do you want to talk about? And I gave a couple of examples. For the next 26 days, our 26-day improvement challenge, okay? Got notes, my head's going nuts. We can talk about anything you want. And it's going to come across like this. We're going to have conversations. We're going to talk about what you're experiencing, how you feel, and things like that. Matthew McDaniel, how you doing, McDaniel? Mr. Burton's on here. Miss Beeman, how you doing, Beeman? Phelps, good morning. You guys are up early. Ben, Mr. Huntley, good. It's good to see you, buddy. Going forward, do you want to do physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, or financial? What do you want to talk about? You want to talk in our 26-day improvement challenge for ourselves? What would you like to work on as a team, as partners? We can set it. I've got a ton of things that we can learn and grow from. I really do. I'm full of it. Watch it. Excuse me. Physical. So we can have physical challenge. We can better ourselves with our diet, our body, our exercise, our workout, our flexibility, our balance, our entire constitution, our digestive system. What do you want to work on? We can do that physically, and we can touch on everything that you want. If you want to do physical, mental, there's a whole ton of mental things that we can do, as far as anywhere from focused and meditation all the way across. Now, some of these will bleed into others, like meditation could be considered spiritual, right? So as we talk about mental, our mental capacity to remember would be something I would be very interested in. I can't remember. So memory might be one. So mental, emotional, our emotional states of mind, and notice I said emotional states, kind of dictate and run our physiology, and our physiology kind of runs our emotional states, and we can do 26 days of that. Financial. If you guys want to learn what I learned as a financial consultant, my degree is in economics and finance from Arizona State University, right? So if you want to work on how to set up a retirement plan, how to monitor and look at your investments, how to read the markets, how to, anything you want, we can do that kind of stuff. If you want. And now listen, all of this stuff, and me, is going to turn into a philosophical conversation. Well, philosophy is my other major, and it's what I do. I heard, I think it was Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse said he got a degree in philosophy, and they asked him what discipline, and that's what he's doing. And he said, well, now I can think deep thoughts about being broke. So that was just funny. How to get paid as a philosopher, right? Mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. Your spiritual growth. I have a lot of thoughts on spirituality. Born Southern Baptist, Bible beating. I was going to hell no matter what I did, right or wrong. Moved through a lot of different churches. Not a lot. I've experienced a few different churches in my life growing up. But the biggest part of spirituality to me is not religion. And I'd love to share that with you if you want to. So please comment, share this. Let's talk. Give me some ideas, or, I'll just eeny, meeny, miny, moe and pick one and we'll go with it. And because trust me, they're all going to be on here. 26 days is about a month. We've got 5 months left in the year. Is that right? Holy crap! August, September, October, November, December, and 2019's in the books. So I've got five topics. So by the end of the year, we will touch on all of those. It'll just be probably to you first, or my wife, which one we do first. Okay. Self-discipline today, real quick, and then I'll get out of here and we'll teach. Self-discipline really defines itself as self-love. Don't go there. Okay. Self-love and self-discipline, same thing. What I've experienced in my own life with self-discipline is the inner voice that I have that tells me I'm disciplined. I'm a 10th degree black belt. I have self-discipline, right? Of course I do. Mostly. Okay. But there are times with food that I'm not as, and like the competition thing this morning, that I slip. And if you can't, this is for me, not you, I'm not harping on you. If you can't master your eating habits, how are you going to win the war against the world? Or how are you going to win the race against yourself? Or how are you going to win, the competition? How are you going to better yourself if you can't win the war against food? And how that works is this. And I wrote down some things that I heard Will Smith say once, and I was trying to remember them this morning, so I had to look them up, but they're awesome. Will Smith is another one that I use as, somebody I follow in motivation. He's got one of the greatest attitudes that I've come across, and I like the people that I say that I follow. It's because of their attitude about what they do in life. My student's going to walk in here in a minute. So if you truly love yourself, be self-disciplined. And Will Smith said it this way, and I think of this all the time. And I love pizza. Okay, pizza is not good for me. It's not really good for anybody, but it tastes awesome, right? Pizza is just one of those foods you can eat. Well, what goes with pizza? Soda. Oh, it's good morning, sir. Tacos. Tacos are incredible. Are tacos good for you? Some tacos can be. We won't go there because I might have tacos tomorrow. But, okay, so pizza. If you look at the pizza, or before you go buy the pizza, and you truly love yourself, and you tell yourself, I'm not going to let you eat that. I love you too much. I'm not going to let you eat that pizza. This would be that inner voice, that internal speak, right? And it would be correct. So do you love yourself more than the pizza? Sometimes the pizza wins with me. And it was because of my inner voice wasn't loud enough. It wasn't strong enough. I could tell myself, don't eat inside. Don't eat that. Don't order pizza. Don't do it. Don't do it. And it happens. And you eat it. And it's good. And for 3 days or 4 days, you beat yourself up. And then you look in the mirror and you go, how did I put back on 3 pounds? Because it wasn't just one piece of pizza. It was the whole damn pizza, either in one sitting or 3 days, right? So you give up for immediate gratification, the pizza, the taste, right? The chocolate, whatever your demon is. That immediate gratification is, you exchange that for long-term self-respect. I'll say that again. In times where your self-discipline is not enough, whatever it is that's in front of you, whatever it is you think you need right now that you know is not good for you, in one way or another, whether it's alcohol, whether it's staying up late, whether it's a relationship, whether it's food, anything, you know it's not good for you, and you give up, you accept the immediate gratification. But if I do this right now, I'll work it off later. You're exchanging one for the other. You're exchanging immediate gratification for long-term self-respect. And I like that. So what did I have to do? I have to talk out loud. I have to use my voice and remind myself, no, Jim, that's not good for you. You love yourself more than that. Don't do it. And I may have to say it more than once, because if I don't, I'm stopping for the candy bar every time I get gasoline. Okay, or diesel now. Or I'm ordering pizza every Thursday night. Why? Because I've been busy running since 6 o'clock Monday morning and teaching till 9 or 10 o'clock every night and doing things. And then Thursday comes along and I wake up and teach. And by the time I get to Kung Fu class and I'm done at 8 o'clock, I don't want to cook. I don't want my wife to have to cook. And pizza just sounds really good. But it's not. So, self-discipline. How do you handle your self-discipline? Do you talk yourself through it, or do you beat yourself with a stick or something? No, don't do that. Let me know how you do it, all right? And I didn't know the Marines said this. I didn't know my dad, grandpa, Marines. I got students that are Marines. I taught the Marines for a while. The Marine Corps and the Navy called my stuff their FUBAR stuff, the self-defense hand-to-hand stuff that I taught them for over 20 years. And I wasn't the only teacher. They have lots of martial arts teachers, but my stuff was used and it was called FUBAR stuff. And the reason, if you know what FUBAR is because after everything else, they've tried everything else, and it becomes close quarter hand to hand. They've lost all of their options. So FUBAR, okay, blinked up beyond all recognition. The mission, not them stuff. Anyway, so I didn't know this was the Marine Corps saying, and I don't know how come. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. That statement tells me, and there's this true statement, there's a true percentage that 99% of the people that set goals are not willing to put the work in to achieve them. 99% of the people that set out to do something incredible don't put the work in to achieve it. Are you one of them? I know I have been, right? I have been one of those people that have a holy crap idea. This is great. I invented the hole in the coffee cup lid. I'm kidding. I can't remember who said that, but do you remember that idea? That was my idea. Now look at it. I did invent the mistletoe belt buckles, but we won't go there. I'm sorry. Holy crap ideas, and nobody puts the work in to do them. I want to have the best body that I've had my whole life, but this bag of potato chips looks really good, or that soda is going to really feel good on my throat going down. Is it soda or is it pop? I don't care. You guys know what I'm talking about. So how do you handle your self-discipline? Everybody wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die. Okay, that statement means that 99% of the people out there don't want to put the work in to achieve their goals. Where do you fall in? I bet after the 30-day challenge of being positive, you change that statistic. Either that or you rose yourself up to the 1%. All right. Amy Ellison, great to learn from someone who struggles. Yeah, you bet. I'm not perfect yet. I mean, there are perfect moments, and those are the moments I choose to recognize. I definitely look back at my failures and learn from them. If nothing else, how to recognize it the next time I make that same mistake. Right? Good. Canadian bacon and pepper. Oh, Mike, yeah, man. I worked at a pizza restaurant in Casa Grande, Del's Pizza. Delfina Sarnowski ran Del's Pizza. Oh, man, if you guys are in Arizona and you get to Casa Grande, eat a Del's Pizza. That lady and her family taught me how to make and eat pizza. And there is nothing like it. I haven't found anything. There's a pizza place real close to here that's pretty close, but we got to stop talking about it because it's almost Thursday. Okay. Unless you get it loaded, have your pizzas made thin crust, extra cheese, light on sauce, and then put your toppings underneath the cheese. Thin crust, light on sauce, extra cheese, and then do pepperoni, mushroom, hamburger, and I don't know, put your toppings on it. But do you guys eat what's that pizza called with the fish? What am I thinking of? Anchovy pizza or Hawaiian pizza? You don't put pineapples on pizza. Sorry. Let's get back to it. All right, I got to go, and I know you got to go. So self-discipline today. Do you truly love yourself? Self-discipline equals loving yourself, right? Are you better than what's in front of you? If it's not good for you, can you forego it? Can you forego that immediate gratification for long-term self-respect? I love that statement. He also said, and this was gender specific at the time. I'm going to change it so that it matches everybody. And he, when he said this, I'm not really in 100% agreement with the terms because I don't think life is war. Some people do though. So he said, if the world is attacking you, if the world is trying to hold you down and you're doing things that are not good for you, it's just like kicking yourself in your knee. Why would you do that? How are you going to win the war against the world and kick yourself in your own knee? Okay. So we're going forward. What do you want to start with now? I'd like to know soon, and I'm going to leave this up. I'm not going to do the whole YouTube thing. This video is going to stay up. I will put a link for the YouTube because I really want to grow that channel. But is it going to be physical? Is it going to be mental? Is it going to be emotional? Is it going to be financial? Is it going to be spiritual? Okay. Help me pick one of those. Physical, mental, emotional or spiritual, or financial. Or if you've got a holy crap idea that I didn't mention, talk to me about it. And again, like I said, no matter what you pick, we're going to throw a philosophical spin on it. And I have lived all of those. Just to remind you, physical. I've been a personal trainer. I had a gym. I owned the second gym after Z-Mog's gym in Prescott Valley was mine. And mental, I'm kind of mental. As a martial artist, I know a lot about physical stuff. My daughter's a genius. I've been working through these programs and talking to experts like that for years and years. Emotional, I can get emotional. Financial, I have a degree in economics and finance and one in philosophy. And spiritual, I have traveled a huge spiritual path that I would love to share with you. And I have spiritual leaders in my group of people that will floor you, that will blow you away with some of the stuff. So I imagine it's all going to touch in there. I'm kind of a nut and everything kind of bleeds together. But all right, guys, have a great Wednesday. It is Wednesday, right? July 31st. It's over. July's gone. It's in the books. Put it down. Mark it as a success. Write the wonderful things that you accomplished this month, and let's move forward into August. Is that the next month? June, July, August. There you go. August. I love you. I will see you later. That's it. And it was still almost 30 minutes, but you understand. Peace. I'm going to have some breakfast.